Welcome back to the movie breakdown. I'm your host, Paul. I'm the photographer. My co-host, actor, New York residents, Ivan Carlos. Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
So, for our listeners that haven't had the opportunity to be with us, we do a 0 to 5 rating. 5 is an amazing movie. A 0 is a movie. Actually, a 0 is not the worst movie. A worst movie is number 1. That is the worst movie you should never see. A 0 is so hilarious that you have to see it. It has completely crazy characters in it, and you want to go get a brownie and go see it.
Give me an example of a 0, Paul.
Like Cop Man, Ninja Cop, some kind of like crazy movie. That, there's plenty of movies out there. I definitely think we need to start doing some zeros because
we definitely need a couple of zeros
on the internet.
Let's watch a Dwayne the Rock Johnson movie.
Well, yeah, we can. Or no, we gotta watch John Cena's movie called
Daddy's Home.
Well, no, he's
funny.
He made a couple of WF movies, and it's called The Marine, and that's definitely a 0.
Probably.
Okay, so and that those are definitely what we call hilariosities. They're so bad you have to watch them because they're just there's no really good plot to them. They don't really add any value to your life or to the common core.
We call them in my house in College Park jabroni movies.
Yeah, jabroni. Or hilariosities, as they call them on YouTube. So today we are talking about the Marriage Story. And the really awesome stuff is that it's basically 3 actors. Mr. Star Wars, Mr.
Adam Driver.
I had it on the top of my head. Adam Driver, and then what is the young kid's name? Because you have the list of
the son's name.
Yes.
Ooh, his name is Henry Barber.
And then we have the lovely.
I think. And then obviously you have ScarJo. Yeah.
So
and a couple of Broadway stars in the ensemble too.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awesome to see.
But it's really, to be honest, it's about 3 characters.
Yeah.
So you don't usually get to see a movie like this. It's very simple. It's a Netflix exclusive. It was in theaters to qualify for the Oscars and Golden Globes, but all you got to do is have your Netflix account and you can go see it. There's actually 3 Golden Globe nominee for Best Pictures that are on the list, and this is one of them, along with Two Popes and The Irishman. So I really encourage you guys to see all 3 of these. So we always give our ratings first because we want you to go see the movie and watch it and then come back. So, Ivan Carlos, based on acting and overall, how do you sum up the movie?
Ooh. Rating this movie is difficult.
It is.
I'm going to say 3.5.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Do you think that it qualifies to be nominated for Best Picture? Do you think it's that? Do you think that's that groundbreaking?
No. I don't think it's groundbreaking, but I do think that there's something about a good, not rom-com, because this isn't a rom-com, but there's something about a love story that kind of transcends almost everything, really. Like when someone watches like one of my favorite movies, for example, is 500 Days of Summer. And that movie doesn't really, that movie too. Great movie, but it doesn't really transcend. It doesn't really challenge. It doesn't really.
But it's only for that portion of life. Like
exactly.
You have to be in that portion of life, and then if you're not in that portion of life, you don't understand it.
Or you watch it and you remember when you were there.
Yes.
But
it's only that portion, that one segment.
It's like emotional porn, kind of.
Yes.
Like, so, did I like the movie? Yes. Did I think that there were faults with the movie? Yes. I thought that some of the acting was not the best, as a lot of many other, especially on Twitter, there was like this whole thing where like people had clips of the movie playing and saying Oscar nomination ? Boo.
Well, were you shocked? Were you shocked that Netflix got 3 of the 5 nominations and
not at all.
And it was one of the 3, because to me, The Irishman is without a doubt
phenomenal,
a no-brainer that it should be nominated.
Agreed.
Okay, but Two Popes was a real, like,
I haven't
wow,
finished that one yet.
it's just a complete shocker because it's not defining or, in my
You
opinion,
weren't moved by it.
it just wasn't worthy. And then this movie also, um, there wasn't like I said to you asking, there wasn't anything groundbreaking that said it's just a simple story. But sometimes
But it's
simple,
just so relatable. Exactly.
but I know, and sometimes simple stories really do well. The movie that did get Best Picture for Golden Globe is 19
15
eight,
or 17. 1917, 1918. What is the year?
1917,
1917.
and it's simply a a a in order for two guys to go across enemy lines to provide intel for the army. That's all they're doing. It's all they're doing is literally they're providing a note. So
Well,
it's a
I'm
very
not-
simple story. So stories can be simple. So
Their objective is quote unquote simple.
right.
But the obstacles.
But it goes back to the marriage story. Is that the story is simple, but it can have a lot of color or rainbows into the story.
Yeah.
So you're saying 3.5.
I'll say 3.5.
I'm saying because I really wasn't engaged by Scarlett's acting.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. I actually think I actually felt more connected with Driver. And that's really hard because, to be honest, I've never thought that Driver played the best bad guy in Star Wars. I never thought he played the best bad boyfriend in the Showtime, the HBO show, Girls. I've never felt the connect. But in this movie, I actually thought, wow, okay, I think Driver, he plays a really good dad. He really wants.
He plays an interesting dad.
Yeah, but I actually didn't have that connection with the mom, and I think it's the way it's written, because they start off the movie by everyone is in love, and then out of nowhere, they're not in love. So it was really jarring because I didn't expect that. It was just a mishmash. I didn't know we were going forward and then backwards and then go.
Oh, okay.
At the beginning like that. So
you didn't realize. Gotcha.
So to me, you said 3.5. I'm gonna say 3. I might even be closer to 2.5 because, I just felt, just like I talked about in the Knives Out, disconnect either at the beginning or end really does affect the entire movie. So I'm trying to get into this movie, and there's all this jarring because before we know it, she's in LA and he's in New York, and then there's no communication. To me, if they were playing both actors to be upset with each other, they were yelling at each other, then I could see in my mind that happening, but they played it that they were both really good friends. So I don't know how, if they were allegedly and really good friends, why it would go so horribly wrong. But I'm 37. I've never been married, so I can't really expound on that type of.
Well, you totally can. It's your opinion.
Yeah, but I would love to get someone who's actually been in their 40s and they've gone through a divorce
to comment,
and they actually are, in a good relationship with their spouse, with their ex.
Well, I mean, they're not just a couple anymore. They're also parents.
Right, and I know.
So, I mean, I kind of liked that. I kind of like that because the whole narrative of once you're no longer in love, the relationship turns sour. That narrative, I think, is kind of overdone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's probably very common, but I mean, people, their child is 6 years old, 7 years old during the movie. They have to get over it, essentially. I was surprised to see how close they were in regards to him coming over and spending Halloween with both Scarlett Johansson and Scarlett Johansson's person, and then the baby, the kid, not the baby, the kid, and then they all went as the Beatles or something, right?
But that was at the end.
Yeah, that I can understand why that's a little like interesting, but I don't want to go as far as to say that it wouldn't happen.
To me, that makes a lot of sense because the people that really made them be angry at each other was the lawyers.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because they would have if they would have never. And I guess I think what the story is trying to tell us is we shouldn't listen to third parties. I don't know if you got that, but I got the vibe that the person who wrote the story truly felt that people that do not have your best interest chimed in. Like the reason why Scarlett got a lawyer is because her best friend said you should get a lawyer. I don't know if you recall that specific scene, but she didn't get a lawyer on her own accord. Charlotte got the lawyer because her best friend recommended it, and then that's what started all the stuff.
Yeah, I think that
So
that's an interesting
to
takeaway.
me, I'm thinking, I think what the writer was trying to say is that believe in yourself, um, believe in your partner. You married him for a reason. So if there isn't any mistrust, believe that you guys can work it out without causing. Because at the end of the movie, like we talked about, they both are getting along. You know,
They let it go. Time has
like
passed.
right, life just continues. You know, because unfortunately, we only get older. Life, the clock keeps on ticking, tick, 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 tick. And all they did was they gave all those lawyers all of their children's money. That's all they did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't. That's an interesting takeaway. I don't think that I completely agree, only because I think that there isn't a character in the movie that's like a bad person, quote unquote bad person. Like there's the lawyers who are assholes, but at the end of the day, they're only doing their job so that their client gets what they want. And Adam Driver's character was adulterous. He cheated,
Right.
but I still felt for him. Like he wasn't a bad person. He just made a mistake, and he explained why, quote unquote, why he does what he does. And then there's ScarJo's character who, um,
But I think
after
she
the
was ready.
divorce, realizes
I
that she
felt,
wants something else more for herself, which is okay. Like I just sympathize with everyone. So,
but the writer wrote her specifically. That was just her out because it felt like her character was written that she was looking at for a reason to leave, and that was just the reason. That was the reason why she gave for leaving. Did you not get that vibe at all?
I got the vibe. Are you talking about her wanting
The-
to succeed?
No, the reason why there was a divorce is because Scarlett wanted to leave,
Oh,
and then she
well,
just
he
used
says
she
that.
just
Adam
used
Driver's
she
character
just
says
uses the
that.
excuse, right? She just uses the excuse for the adulteress for it wasn't the main, like she really wanted to move to LA because like they keep on bringing up this thing, I want to go back to LA, I want to go back. So it was just what led
She just felt like she wasn't being honored as much as he was.
right.
That, and then imagine feeling like you're not as important as the person who you're in love with, and then on top of that feeling, finding out that they cheated on you. Like you're literally sitting in a city that you don't want to live in because you're in love with someone and you have a kid with someone and they're succeeding and you're also
Well, you
succeeding.
think you're in
because
love with, which is even worse.
I believe that they were in love. I believe that they were in love. Like people, I mean, I shouldn't say people don't have kids with people they don't love because people do it all the time. But I believed them as a couple. The parts that I didn't believe and the parts that I checked out acting wise was like when they were arguing and yelling back and forth, and I just didn't buy that. It seemed kind of like it seemed kind of like a scene that I would see in school where we're practicing like the use of different tactics and like we're looking for very specific things in a scene. That was kind of the vibe. I thought that, not that it was amateurish, because Adam Driver's a Juilliard trained actor. He's phenomenal. He's great. Scarlett Johansson has experience up the wazoo. She's great. But the chemistry seemed a little off to me, and it seemed much more forced, and there were a lot of monologues. Um, and it's interesting that you liked Adam Driver more because I think I liked Scarlett Johansson a little bit more in this movie. Except even her, like they were just like I don't know. I've never really examined people arguing with each other like that, so they could have completely nailed it. But watching it, there were just points where I thought that it just wasn't good acting.
Well, can I give you my points on why I think
Yeah, go ahead.
driver's role seemed to be more fleshed out.
Hmm.
One, at the beginning, he's solely relying on her. He cuts her hair. He takes
She
care of
cuts
that.
his hair.
I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
it the
yeah.
wrong way. Um, she takes care of the house. She takes care of the child. He's solely focused on his play.
The only reason why I disagree with that is because in his when she's talking about reasons why she loves him, which is why they say that, she says about him, he can cook himself dinner and he's self-sufficient. He doesn't need anyone.
Just because you can cook a meal doesn't mean you're self-sufficient, dude.
Sure, but
I mean,
just because your wife cuts your hair doesn't mean that you. I think what he relied on her for was childcare because she's the one that says, "I play. I'm really good at playing."
well, I would say emotional distress too.
Sure.
And what I wanted to add at the end of the movie, he's got his own apartment. Okay, his kid, he cut himself, and he was able to deal with that without.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, um, he is cooking by himself. Okay, he's cohabitating work and family life, and dealing with the consequences of being late or being on time. Um, so that was interesting. It just to me it shows that Charlotte was a complete character, and she got a new house, right away, and her stuff is all together, and she's got a mansion, like all this, like
Because she's a movie star.
like
Yeah.
like everything just works for her, and he's like a pile of dirt, and like he's like he's a flower, and he's trying to grow up,
Yeah.
and she's already a rose. So
Yeah. I get that.
because
I
even
would agree that Adam Driver's character is more fleshed out. He has more screen time. But
and I would love to see more of Charlotte.
I mean,
But I don't think we
Scarlett
need-
Johansson, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, but I don't think that we need to see her character because she basically, and I don't know if this is being sexist or anything, but she just seemed to be that typical woman. Like she just goes along her day and gets her shit done because women always have to do that. Women usually a strong woman usually just gets shit done. She doesn't bitch or complain. I mean, men bitch and complain about shit.
Sure. I don't.
And
I mean,
women usually, a strong woman just gets it done,
um,
And there are men and women on both sides, but
I just thought that the execution of her monologues were better. I like that they both sang. I think Adam Driver's scene where he's singing at the karaoke bar, great. I think that they really captured the. I felt the struggle between Adam Driver's character. What was his name? Charlie. Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah,
Charlie's character.
yeah, that's his son's name.
I really vibed with the struggle of having to choose your career versus your family because as an actor myself, I'm constantly like stressing over, oh wait, well I have this signed contract and I have shows for these days, but natural things that come up in life that have to do with family conflicts with that, and I have to constantly try to find a way to juggle everything to honor my career and honor myself and push myself so I can achieve what I want to achieve, but also honor the family. And
I mean, does that as you being the up and coming actor, does that scare you because you have no control over your schedule in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I'm also 23 and I have no plans on
But I
getting
mean-
married or.
But I mean, at one point, could you see yourself being a director so you could be more control of your schedule and writing your own schedule, so you could have a family and know that.
I could see a lot of things.
Because to me, that's the one thing that that lifestyle does kind of, to me, promote is like marital affairs and not not being with the family that you're technically in love with. Like your family is really the people you're working with, and like the people that you're like married to are like these other people. But like Brad Pitt doesn't get to spend that much time with his ex, at this time his wife, Or
Yeah, I mean,
he's-
I have no idea how he spends his day, but yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out. I'm not sure. But watching this movie, I really vibe with that because they're a family of artists. So at the end of the day,
It's just a very weird dynamic because you don't work the same place, you don't go to the same place 9 to 5 and come home.
exactly. And at the end of the day, the art is what's most important because with the art comes the money. So like they were moving to different countries and different places so that Charlie's character could work. And then Scarlett Johansson ultimately, when she divorces him, goes back to L.A., where her family lives, yes, but like also where her career prospects
That's
are.
where the job offer.
So I
That was the other thing that was a little like
the New York versus L.A. vibe.
a little
so it was really
condescending.
interesting.
That was like she went there for a job. She didn't go there for a family. That was just a little condescending.
Oh yeah, totally. Like she went to L.A. so she could make bank to provide for her kid who she loves.
And what's
like,
wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Like
at all.
I just thought that they were.
But they provide good insight for Charlie's character because for Charlie's character, yeah, she always said let's move back to LA, but they did live in New York City. You know what I mean? So like there was no such thing as a right answer or a wrong answer or a good guy or a bad guy. It's just what the situation was. And it was really interesting to watch. I just don't think that it was challenging enough or executed well enough to earn a Golden Globe or an Oscar.
I can't disagree.
It should definitely be nominated. I think it should definitely be nominated because it's interesting, it's good,
but not for Best Picture.
For best, I don't.
But isn't there one for Best Drama? Isn't there, or is that not?
Let me look
or
at
is that
the list
because they have these weird awards now?
they have. So Laura Dern, who I believe was Scarlett Johansson's lawyer, is nominated for supporting, which she's been killing it lately. Laura Dern, I'm about Laura Dern. She has her type, she has her qualms and her habits, but I'm about her on camera. I love Laura Dern.
And the rumor is that she's going to be in the sixth Jurassic Park movie because they're going to bring back the entire cast from the first movie.
Oh,
so I really
she was in the first movie.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
She's the female lead.
Wow. I mean, Jurassic Park is a little before my time. I have to rewatch that.
I know, guys. I'm 27. I'm 37,
and I just turned 23.
Yeah, so
like a couple weeks ago.
It's I honestly like our age demographic because I can say stuff and it goes over your head, and then you can pull up something and I'm like, okay. So
yeah, this movie got a lot of independent film recognition.
Well, I see why it would be because it's a very simple story. It could be a play. You could have easily.
I mean, yeah, it's very similar to a couple of musicals that I know. I really liked it. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was great, but there were moments that were great.
Don't you think you could break this movie into 5 scenes or 6 scenes, like skits?
Totally.
Because
this is the kind of work I want to do.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like you could literally build 6 sets because all you need is a hotel. All you need is a house. You need a house.
Mm-hmm.
You need an airplane. You need a lawyer's office. You need a car, and then you probably need just an open stage for like when he's talking about.
Totally.
Yeah, so it's easily a movie that they could have just done as a play, and I think that I'd actually like it more if it was a play.
I like the movie. I totally like the movie. I think the kid is really good too.
The kid is, I honestly, if he was the kid who played Anakin in The Phantom Menace could have been a better movie. I keep on bringing Star Wars up, but like, the kid's a really good kid actor. You know, sometimes these kid actors are just horrible as crap.
Oh, this kid was pretty good, and no, I really enjoyed it. So when I say 3.5, it's not because I didn't or because I thought it was average. I just
We both agree
I wasn't
that,
overwhelmed
but
by
we
it.
both agree that it shouldn't be nominated as best picture. Like,
Ooh, I think that I think it's the fact that it's nominated makes sense. I just don't think that it should beat out certain movies. I think that this is a good movie. That if I were handed the script for this and said, "Do you want to play Adam Driver's part?" I'd say absolutely in a heartbeat because the ingenue monologue, emo, lovey-dovey work is where I find that I want
see,
to be in.
and this is just because the Academy and the foreign press won't ever nominate a bigger picture. But I'm sorry, but I think Endgame was a much better movie than this, and it was not nominated.
Mm.
And what happened in Endgame, I cried. I saw it twice in theaters. I cried like big tears. This movie, I almost fell asleep watching.
I think
So
that I
and
understand.
that
I understand why you say that, and I do agree, but I think that no, it makes sense because Endgame was just such a phenomenal movie.
and they will, and see, in my opinion,
Endgame should be nominated for best feature for best film. I agree with that.
and I honestly think that and that's why
And
I
Black
think
Panther was nominated.
the year before,
Mhm.
prior, yeah. Um, I just think there is a overall philosophy because the director of The Irishman came out and said that Marvel movies are like going to a theme park.
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, and that they're not really theatrical movies. It's more like going to a it's like going on a roller coaster when his movie is more of like a play and more.
Yeah, well, Martin Scorsese.
I mean,
Don't get me wrong. I love Martin Scorsese.
but I
I
think
want
that
to work with
but a
you.
lot of people
But come on, dude.
but a lot of people think that that's why they didn't get nominated.
I mean,
That's why
that's
they
probably why you're right.
because the people that vote for both the foreign press for the Golden Globes and the the people that vote for the Oscars are very much are inflected by their major directors. And Martin made a comment that definitely resonated with the people that are still voting. And the problem why we don't have more ethnically diverse people nominated is because we have a pool of voters that are majority white.
Oh,
So
totally.
so
And
that's why
systemically, that's just
but
yeah.
that's why we have a white story about two white characters being nominated. That's my thesis going back. That's why Endgame wasn't nominated, in my opinion, because they didn't think of it being this grand
Artistic feat.
artistic thing.
Yeah.
It's just like a big bombing movie. But the Marriage Story is this artistic, beautiful movie from a small little studio called Netflix.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. The hypocrisy is definitely there. I do think that Endgame should be nominated. I do think Endgame would beat out Marriage Story, but I would be lying
I'm
if
not saying that, and I'm also saying I don't think that Endgame is the best picture of the year. I think best picture of the year, 100% is 1917. If you have not seen this movie, guys, it is.
I thought it just came out.
Well, I saw an earlier review.
Oh, okay. I thought it came out like a couple of days ago.
It came out in wide release last week.
Okay.
It's incredible. It's the whole point of the movie is that it's shot at the same time. So if they're running and it's a clear, sunny time and clouds come over to cover the sun, they stop and they wait until the sun comes out to continue the story.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah, I think Endgame was a great movie. And I do agree that there's discrimination with types of movies being admitted into the Academy and all that. But like, at the end of the day, the Oscars and the Golden Globes are just subjective forms of gratification, and they don't really mean.
Oh yeah,
anything.
they're self pats on the back, but
Exactly.
it also would be nice that we allow other people to get pat on the back.
Oh, I don't disagree with you at all. So with that being said, I don't think it's far fetched that Marriage Story is nominated, but there's definitely better movies out there.
Yeah. To me, it's just, I know this is crazy, but maybe they were talking about this on SCN Live that maybe we should go to 10, but maybe we should have every studio gets one movie nominated for Best Picture. Like they get at least the opportunity to have one movie.
I mean, but that's it. Like, no matter what you do, you're gonna piss
Because
someone off. Someone's gonna disagree. Someone's gonna say, "Well, that should have been that and that." And
but like to have Netflix have more than 50% of the nominations for Best Picture.
The platform is huge.
That's just crazy.
The platform is huge, but I mean, you have Disney Plus that just came out, and Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and eventually it'll become more.
But you also have Amazon Studios.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you have Paramount. You have Fox is still making movies. It's under Disney, but it's Fox. Then you have Disney Studios. Then you have Marvel. Then you have
you have a crap ton of movies everywhere. Yeah.
And all of those, really do deserve a nomination if they made
Agreed. I completely agree. It's just at the end of the day, who is the one giving out these awards? Because they're gonna want
they're giving the awards out to themselves.
Totally. So the award at the end of the day, and this is coming from an actor who wants to win these awards.
No, I know.
At the end of the day, they don't really mean anything, because
that was the other thing.
Let's say that Marriage Story wins whatever award for this movie. People are going to disagree with it. People are going to say that movie should not have won. And some people are going to say, perfect choice, that movie should win. Like, it's just, you're never going to satisfy the masses, so why even try? You know what I mean? And that's why you have all these other independent film groups and awards and things like that, because people are aware that some actors are in it for the awards, and they're going to keep getting the awards, and they're going to get the clout, and that's what it is. And then there are other actors who are there for the art, and then there are the very few who are there for the art who also win the awards, and are those like the Leos in the world who people have been saying he should win Oscars for years before he finally won an Oscar. You know what I mean?
Well, the one comment, I've been really watching this new show called SAN Live, and basically it's most of the employees from the Collider Live show that went away the last couple months. But Harbaugh said specifically, the day after, every single award means nothing. The award means the most the day before and the day of, but it doesn't mean anything after. So
because they're going to make more.
Well, not just that. It's just like the World Series. The World Series means so much that day, but then the day after, you've won it. I mean, it might mean a little bit after until you get to the parade, because most cities give the team a parade.
Yeah.
But after that,
the clout goes away.
It's okay. So now you got to do it all over again.
Which is fast. Like, I love that process. Like, I want to be an award-winning actor. I want to win Oscars, so I want to be in the projects that are being considered to win Oscars and Golden Globes and Emmys and all of that. But I also have to know that at the end of the day, these awards really aren't the end-all, be-all. And it's unfortunate because it's almost reflecting on the movie itself, because A Marriage Story is a good movie. It's good. It's decent. But because it's nominated for this award, it's being hyperanalyzed. Is it good enough? And in my opinion, I think it's good enough to be nominated. I don't think it should win. I don't think that I received anything.
Okay, so I'll ask you this question. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good.
My question is,
shoot,
do you think the nomination means much more for job opportunities than actually winning the award? Because because that nomination sits out there so long. So
the nomination is out there, yeah. But if you're an Oscar award-winning actor,
but I mean, yes, But that's something that you can use as leverage to get. But because it sits out there for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks,
are people getting offers?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So it's more important to get nominated.
Definitely. Well, I wouldn't say more important.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if the worst thing is you get nominated, that's still a good thing.
Because you are going to receive some kind of work after. Yes. I'm sure. Unless the industry is much harder than I think it is. Or
No,
even
I think
people
it's
like that.
I think
But I
it's
feel like once you're getting nominated, you're fine.
I think it's that like crazy, dude. I think that if you get nominated, then you're like golden.
Yeah, I hope.
I mean, think you keep on bringing up Leo. Leo did the remake of the Love Story.
Romeo and Juliet?
Okay, that was like his big breakout. Then he did
Was that his big breakout?
then he did Titanic, and then he did that movie about the island.
Shutter Island?
No, that was another.
That was like
He
years
did that
later.
drug. He did that like rave island where they were stranded on an island. See, maybe we should do a whole like because we already talked about this. Well, maybe in private, but maybe we just need to rent all the Leo movies, and we need
I'd love to have a Leo day.
because Leo, I think it is a good. I think that would probably help you as an actor because I don't. It sounds like you haven't seen all his movies.
I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen the majority of them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but you keep
More
on.
contemporary
There's a
stuff,
couple.
though.
I think it's called Pleasure Island or something like that, or Paradise Island.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's in his early career, but his big role was really Romeo and Juliet. That was where he really like broke out.
Okay.
Then everyone knows about Titanic. So
Totally.
yeah. So, all right, we've
A marriage
rambled.
story.
We've
Yeah.
really rambled a lot. So to sum it up, Elon Carlos is going to give it a 3.5.
Yes.
On the edible scale, worth it or just not worth it?
Too sad to watch high.
Yeah, I don't think there's any benefit in it. And I would agree. There's no benefit in it. And again, I put it as a 3.0, and I'm the photographer, Paul. My co-host is the actor, New York resident Elon Carlos,
That's me.
and we will see you soon.
Deuces.